My hands, they know the smell of bleach and lemon polish better than they know anything else. For 2 years, my world has been the quiet hum of the vacuum cleaner, the squeak of a clean window, the silent nod of a passing executive who doesn't see me, just a uniform I wear. I'm Sarah. I clean the top floors of the Harrison Core building, the ones they call the executive suites. It's a lonely job, but it's steady. It pays the rent for the small apartment I share with my grandma and puts food on our table. That's all I've ever asked for. My grandma says I have quiet hands. She means I'm gentle, but my hands hold a secret language, a world of their own that nobody here knows about. A world I shared with my little brother, Noah. Noah was born into a silent world, so I learned to speak with my hands to meet him there. We'd sit for hours, our fingers flying, telling stories about dragons and spaceships, secrets that didn't need sound to be real. Noah's gone now. A fever took him when he was just 7, but the language, his language, stayed with me, tucked away in my heart and in the memory of my muscles. The man they call the big boss, Mr. Harrison, is more of a legend than a person to me. I've only ever seen him as a blur of a dark suit rushing into his corner office. His footsteps are heavy with importance. We, the cleaning staff, have a simple rule. If you see him coming, you find a closet to disappear into. You don't get in his way. You don't exist. So last night, I broke the rule. It was late, almost midnight. I was doing my final sweep of the main boardroom. The lights were dim, and the long, polished table reflected the city lights like a dark river. I thought the floor was empty, but then I heard a frustrated sigh from the far end of the room. Mr. Harrison was there, sitting in front of a giant screen, on a video call. I froze, my hand tight on my cleaning cart. I should have backed out slowly, vanished into the hallway. But something on the screen caught my eye. A man was talking, but not with his voice. His hands were moving, sharp and precise. He was using sign language. Harrison was leaning forward, his brow furrowed in concentration. He was trying to sign back, but his movements were clumsy, slow. It was like watching someone try to write with their wrong hand. I could see the man on the screen signing again. A question this time, his expression patient but growing a little strained. My heart started to beat a little faster. I knew that sign, and the one after it. The man was asking, "Are the assets secure for the merger?" Mr. Harrison signed back something that looked like, "Yes, the assets are new for the manager." I felt a ghost of a giggle bubble in my chest, but I choked it down. It was such a Noah thing to find funny. The man on the screen looked confused. He repeated his question, slower this time. Mr. Harrison sighed again, rubbing his temples. He was failing, and he was frustrated. That's when it happened. My hands moved before my brain could stop them. It was an instinct, the same one that used to jump in to help Noah when he got stuck on a word. From the shadows of the doorway, I lifted my hands. I kept it simple, clear. My fingers spelled it out, then made the signs. He means assets. For the merger. The man on the screen's eyes widened. He looked past Mr. Harrison, toward the doorway where I stood half hidden. He smiled, a big, bright, relieved smile, and then signed, "Thank you. Harrison turned his head, following the man's gaze. His eyes, sharp and blue, landed on me. For a second, he just stared. There was no anger in his face, just surprise. A deep, unreadable shock. The blood drained from my face. I felt my entire body go cold. I had just corrected the most powerful man in the building. A maid. Me. He gave me a short, sharp nod. A dismissal. I didn't need to be told twice. I grabbed my cart and practically ran out of the room. my heart hammering against my ribs like a trapped bird. I didn't stop until I was in the staff locker room, my back pressed against the cold metal. What had I done? Oh, what had I done? All the way home on the bus, I stared out the window, but I didn't see the city lights. I saw the look on Mr. Harrison's face. I saw my career, my steady paycheck, my ability to care for Grandma, all dissolving into dust because I couldn't keep my hands to myself. That night, I didn't sleep. Every time a car passed on the street below, I thought it was someone coming to tell me not to bother showing up for my shift tomorrow. I imagined my supervisor, Maria, calling me, her voice full of disappointment. Sarah, what did you do? When my alarm went off at 5 a.m., I felt sick. But I got up. I put on my uniform. I made Grandma her tea. I had to face it. I had to go in and wait for the axe to fall. I just finished cleaning the fourth floor restrooms when my radio crackled. It wasn't Maria's voice. It was a crisp, formal voice I'd never heard before. Sarah, report to Mr. Harrison's office. Immediately. That was it. My stomach dropped to my feet. The other women on the cleaning crew stopped what they were doing and looked at me, their eyes wide with a mixture of pity and fear. Being called to the CEO's office could only mean one thing. The walk to his office was the longest walk of my life. The carpet seemed to swallow my footsteps. The air was different up here, smelling of leather and money and power. A woman with a perfect blonde haircut and a sharp suit, his assistant, I guessed, pointed me toward a large wooden door without even looking at me. I knocked. My hand was trembling. Come in. I pushed the door open and stepped inside. Mr. Harrison was standing by the window, looking out at the city. He turned around, and my breath caught in my throat. He wasn't wearing his suit jacket. He just had on a white shirt with the sleeves rolled up. He looked tired. Human. Sarah, he said. His voice was quiet. Please, sit down. I perched on the very edge of one of the plush chairs in front of his desk. I was sure I would leave a dirty mark on it. I kept my hands clenched in my lap, willing them to stay still. I waited for the words, "You're fired." Instead, he sat down across from me and leaned forward, his hands clasped on the desk. "Where did you learn to sign like that?" he asked. "You're fluent." My throat was dry. My little brother, sir. His name was Noah. He was deaf. A flicker of something soft crossed his face. I swallowed hard. He passed away a few years ago, Mr. Harrison was quiet for a long moment. He looked down at his own hands. "I'm sorry to hear that," he said, and it sounded like he meant it. He took a deep breath. "The man on the screen last night, he's a very important potential partner for this company. His entire executive board is deaf. It's a company built on providing technology for the deaf and hard of hearing community." He paused, then went on. "My daughter, my youngest, Emily, she's 8. She was born deaf. Just like your Noah." My head shot up. I looked at him. Really looked at him. For the first time. I saw a picture frame on his desk, angled toward him. In it, a little girl with bright red pigtails was laughing, her hands in the middle of a sign I recognized. The sign for "I love you." "I've been trying to learn for her," he said, and his voice was thick with emotion. "I go to classes, I practice, but I'm slow. It doesn't come naturally to me. Last night, I was on the verge of blowing a deal worth millions, not because of the numbers, but because I couldn't communicate. I felt helpless and ashamed." He looked me straight in the eye. "And then you, from the doorway, you were so quick, so clear. It was like watching someone speak poetry." The man on the call, Mr. Chen, he was incredibly impressed. He asked me about you after the call ended. I didn't know what to say. I just sat there, my mind spinning. Sarah, Mr. Harrison said, his voice firm now. I'm not going to fire you. I'm here to offer you a job. A different one, he explained. He wanted to hire me as a communications consultant for his office. He wanted me to attend meetings with Mr. Chen's company as an interpreter. He wanted me to tutor him personally, so he could speak to his own daughter without fumbling. He talked about a salary that was more than 3 times what I made now. He talked about paying for me to get official certifications, to go to college if I wanted. Tears started to well up in my eyes. I tried to blink them back, but they spilled over and ran down my cheeks. All those years, I thought Noah's language was just a secret memory, something that belonged only to me, a painful reminder of what I'd lost. But it wasn't. It was a gift. Noah's gift. Why me? I whispered, my voice hoarse. You could hire any interpreter in the city, because you didn't do it for a job, he said softly. You did it to help. I saw it in your face. It wasn't about showing off. It was about connection. That's what I need. That's what my daughter needs. I left his office an hour later. The world looked different. The colors seemed brighter. The hum of the building didn't sound lonely anymore. It sounded like a place of possibility. I walked past the other maids and they stared. But this time I didn't feel small. I stood up a little taller. That evening, I told Grandma everything. She held my hands, her wrinkled fingers tracing the lines on my palms. See, she said, her voice full of love. I always told you, you have good, quiet hands. And your brother, he's still looking out for you, baby girl. He never really left. And as I looked at my own hands, I knew she was right. They weren't just for cleaning floors and polishing tables anymore. They were for building bridges, for speaking a language of the heart. They were Noah's hands too. And for the first time in a very long time, they didn't feel quiet at all. They felt ready to speak.